So today we're going to talk about what causes low self-esteem. Hello, my name is Augustus, and I learn about social barriers and norms to help people become their true self in life. So if you like my videos, please hit subscribe and all this content will come right to you. So this topic, causing low self-esteem. This is such a hard topic because I feel like none of us really want to have low self-esteem. I mean, it feels just really bad, really horrible. I mean, I had a time when I felt like I had really low self-esteem and it was just bad. And today I want to bring to you a few points that might be the causes of your low self-esteem, and we can see if we'll go through them and see if these points will really help you. So the first one with low self-esteem is low self-esteem at the core comes from really not knowing who you are. So I'm going to explain that a little more too. So let's say you're trying to buy a new jacket and you don't really know if you want yellow or green. So you call up your friend and say, hey, I don't really know what jacket color I want, green or yellow. And your friend picks for you. And she picks green, so you bought green. So what this scenario is really saying, this is on a very small scale, but basically what you are saying is, I don't really know who I want to be. So can you decide for me? So you ask for your friend for who you want to be, and then they decide for you. So this is on a small scale. And I'm not saying like you have to be like incredibly adamant about like, no, I have to make my own decisions on every single little thing. No, but on like a core scale, you can't give up letting other people make your identity for you. And that's a small example of you giving up your control and giving up your self-esteem because you let other people decide who you are. Now, the second point I want to talk about is correctly prioritizing yourself will really raise your self-esteem. So why do I say this? Because at times, sometimes it feels like we really don't deserve a place deep and down in our lives. Like, I know on the outside it doesn't seem that way, we don't want to believe that way, but deep down in our core, if we believe that we don't have a place in this life, that we don't deserve to be here, this will ruin our self-esteem. Like, we don't belong in a group, that will bring down our self-esteem. Yes, I know we're not like the king of the world, we're not like Superman, we're not like super important, but we're also not the most insignificant person in this world. So I'm saying we as people, we have our own sets of value just for being a human being, and that's okay. So we have to understand that. And another thing is, you have to be a little selfish sometimes, because for us, the best gift that we can give to others is ourselves. So we have to learn to take care of ourselves so we can take care of others. Like, if you're not even well yourself, you're super exhausted, you're super burnt out, and you're not even knowing how to meet your own needs, then you can't teach other people to do the same. You can't help other people meet their needs, or you don't even have enough energy to help them in a different way. Now, the third point I want to make is self-esteem comes from not really knowing what your own values are. Like, if you don't really know what you like, what color you like the example I gave before, then you're replacing it with other people's preference. So if we don't really have our own set of foundations, we don't really have our own sets of principles, when other people come in, either you like it or not, you are going to shift around their principles because we don't even know what's right. If there isn't a set of rules that we follow, then we adopt other people's rules. And sometimes I know all of us, we're in a learning process, we don't have the correct set of rules, but we have to be able to establish that these are the certain principles that I follow, these are the certain values that I value incredibly important. Like, let's say I really want to be a person that is really kind, really gentle towards everyone. That might be one of your values. But if you don't have that value, someone can come and just tell you something else and you'll follow that. And that's why our self-esteem kind of shifts all around because we don't have that for ourselves. So the last point I have is the media might not have your best interest in mind. Like, with all the TV shows that's going on, everything that we watch, everything is trying to tell us a certain message. And one of the most apparent one is your body image. Like, one of the ways that people are trying to sell is they're saying like, oh, you're too fat, you're too skinny, you're not smart enough. Well, actually, let's stick to body image for now, since that's the easiest one to see. Or like, your teeth are not white enough, your nails are not nicely done. Like, when all these things come up, they are bringing up your insecurity, saying you are not good enough and you need our product to be good. And I feel like that's one of the worst ways to do business. You should be able to kind of give that product and saying, hey, you can become like this, not because of the fact that you're like flawed or something. And because that drawing on that fear, that insecurity, that really puts down our low self-esteem. And depending on what kind of media we expose our mind to and we spend time on, this really changes the way that we view things. So be careful about what you read. Like, sometimes we read like, I don't know, like fashion magazines or sports magazines, and we look and it's like, wow, these people are so perfect. But that's looking at that thing sometimes lowers your own self-esteem because they're saying this is who we're supposed to be and you're not like that. So be aware, and be aware of what you are exposing yourself to. So now let's start with the action step. Just a one step, the first thing that you can do right now is just figuring out what are your values. What are your principles? Just start with one. Just start with one. Because change is never easy and it goes by slow, gradually, but it's always worth it if you're going towards the right kind of change. So, I don't know, pick and find out what kind of person you want to be. So, you can be a person that really likes to keep their promises. So, make a point to work on keeping your promises, and that becomes one of your values. And prize that, and gradually you'll start to see all the different kind of changes that will happen. So when we don't know our values, other people tend to make their values for you. That's right. Or me.